If you want to build relationships and improve them, then you need to start by speaking the truth. Too many people are building their relationships based on lies. And I know that most of us do not want to consider ourselves as liars. But the truth is, we've all been guilty in telling people what we think that they want to hear, as opposed to what we actually are thinking. And it doesn't seem like a big deal in the beginning. It doesn't. But the harsh truth is, it is a big deal. So for example, if you are a business owner and you only tell your customers what you think that they want to hear, and you just want to please them and adhere to them. In the beginning, you have one customer. So one customer will say, I really appreciate ethical sourcing. And you say, yeah, me too. And whether you are or you're not, there's no judgment on that. I'm just using this example. Yeah, me too. And then another customer comes in and says, I'm all about cheap prices. I want to get value for my dollar. Yeah, so am I. I do that too. And the third customer comes in and says, I love purple everywhere. You're like, yeah, me too. Now, what has happened here is that because you're telling the customers exactly what you think that they want to hear, now you are no longer showing your truth and what your brand is as a company. And yes, in the beginning, 3 customers, not a big deal. You can manage that, no problem. But if you want to scale and eventually those 3 people become 3,000 people and eventually 3 million people, how are you possibly going to maintain the integrity of your brand? And at the end, nobody is going to be happy. None of the customers are going to be happy because you're not actually meeting their needs. Why not just speak your truth to begin with? Now, let's talk about your relationships. I see this over and over and over again in my coaching practice. I have people come to me who are well on their way in their personal development. They're growing, they're expanding, they're starting to speak their truth. They're trying to they're really figuring out who they are as people. And the first thing that happens in their lives is that they lose a whole bunch of friends. And worst off, some of them lose their spouses as a result. And this is a reason why it happens, is because we all, myself included, I have done this before too. We have a tendency of putting on different masks. We put on different masks. We put on this mask that we think that this person would love about us. Then we put on a different mask that we think that person is going to love about us. And eventually we become so sick and tired of all those masks, we take them off. But the problem is those people were attracted to the mask that you put on in the first place. So when you take them off, it makes them feel like you're a brand new person and you are someone that they can no longer recognize. And the reality is, the harsh truth is that you can't blame them for thinking that, because it is the truth. So why not begin by speaking the truth to begin with, right? It seems like such an easy thing to do, but yet we're all so concerned about speaking the truth. So right now, for example, when I came on air, I was uncomfortable with this topic because I thought to myself, okay, well, I need to do more research on this topic so that way I know how to talk about it. But I was like, how ironic is that? I'm talking about speaking the truth, what I'm actually thinking. So why am I thinking about the perfect way of delivering it? So I just came on air and yeah, sure. In the beginning, I was a little bit shaky, but eventually I kind of like went into what my truth is, what I'm actually feeling and thinking, instead of me saying what I think you guys want to hear. And I think it's, in the end, I think everybody appreciates that. So this is what I'm going to say to all of you. I'm going to challenge you to start speaking the truth right away. So for example, if you could find someone that you really trust, that you feel like they're not going to judge you, and sometimes it's not someone that you truly trust. Sometimes it might be a complete stranger that you feel like you have it's a low stakes situation because you may never see the stranger again. And just really tell them the first thing that comes to your mind. That's it. And see how that feels. In my coaching practice, that's what I do with my clients. The first thing that I ask them to do is just to do a brief meditation and let go of any worries, any judgments, or anything that they have so we could start clean and clear. And the second thing I ask them to do is like, listen, in order for you to get the most out of the session, I need you to tell me the truth. So if you're feeling a truth bubbling up, just come out and say it. And the people who have done that, they have gotten way more out of the session than the people who tell me what they think that I want to hear. They feel like I may judge them if they tell me the truth. If you need to cry, cry. I don't care. If you need to tell me that, you know what, right now I'm feeling really sad, tell me. Because then we can move towards that and come up with a solution for you to help with that challenge that you're having. But going in circles doesn't really help anybody. And it goes beyond coaching sessions. It goes beyond businesses. This goes to ourselves and having real relationships. One of my friends called it real relationships, is when we actually speak to people from our place of truth versus all of this fake persona we have, that we actually create real connections. It is no coincidence that I have made the best friends over the last year than I have in the last 10 years. And the reason for that is that I started really connecting with people, and we have no mask on. We just tell it how it is. If I'm feeling insecure in that moment, I will go out and tell them that, listen, I'm feeling insecure right now. Or sometimes I have gone even further. I was like, you know what? I really have no passion for this conversation we're having. I'm not feeling it. I'm tuning out. And then we have a conversation about, maybe we should talk about something else. And they're tuning out too. And we could connect with that. But if we don't get to the truth right away, then we don't really have any substance. Basically, we're building these relationships. The only thing that I can think about is cotton candy. That's what it is. It seems sweet at the time, but it's not nutritious. It's not going to do you any good. It's not going to, in the long term, it's going to eat away at you, and it's not going to feel great. I feel very passionately about this. I came on here without even thinking about what I'm going to say, because I'm like, you know what? I'm going to demonstrate about actually speaking my truth. And the truth is, I feel insecure sometimes coming on here and having a camera in front of me and having this conversation. And it's kind of scary for me, especially when I don't feel like I'm by especially when I feel like I'm by myself here. And then you guys appear on the chat, and it makes me feel so much better. And you have no idea, people who show up in the chat. I am so incredibly appreciative of you, because I work on my own a lot of the times, and it can feel a little bit lonely, which is why I love this kind of connection. And I know that a lot of people who I work with and a lot of people who do watch my videos are on the same boat. We're entrepreneurs. And whether you're aspiring or you're an entrepreneur yourself or you're on your path, it can get lonely, because you're doing everything on your own. And really, we're in this together. And there's nothing wrong with telling someone that, hey, you know what, I'm having a difficult time right now and I need help. Or you could say, I'm having an amazing time. My life is so good right now. And there's nothing wrong with that either. Some people have a problem celebrating their success because they think that their friend who's sitting next to them will feel bad if you show your success. Again, you're hiding from your truth, right? Anyways, I think I'm done for now. I'm going to go over to the chat and see what you guys have got. So we got Tracy. Oh, Tracy is saying hello all the way from Mexico. She's like, she's having dinner. Just wanted to stop by and say hi. Tracy, thank you so much. I know you're probably back having your dinner right now. I appreciate you. You're amazing. And I hope you're having an amazing time in Mexico. I know I did. I was there last week. We got Julia Lee. Julia Lee, hello. Julia Lee is writing in from South Korea. So she's saying, the problem is that it's getting more difficult for me to trust others. Okay. Okay, well, that's a different conversation altogether. Julia Lee, the problem it is that you feel like it's more difficult for you to trust others is because you told your story to people who don't deserve to hear your story. And that's what happens. And it's that age-old story that we tell ourselves that one person, say, okay, I'll put a name to it. Say, so Sally, you told a story to Sally, and Sally went and told your story to someone else, or she was extremely judgmental towards you. So the story that you tell yourself, Julia Lee, and the people around, the people who are watching right now, is you're saying that instead of saying that, you know what, Sally is a is is untrustworthy. Now the story you tell yourself is that people are untrustworthy. And I want you to know that there are people out there in this world that do trust you, that you can trust and have trust in you. And through an unfortunate event, you opened up to the wrong people and they took advantage of you, and that is not your fault. And at the same time, you also need to believe that there are people who are trustworthy. Just because one person or 5 people or 10 people betrayed your trust doesn't necessarily mean the rest of the world is untrustworthy. And I'm going to tell you that right now. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, because I used to be in a situation that I went through a period that I wanted to just reveal my vulnerability to everybody because I felt like that was the right thing to do. I spent too many years of my life not telling my truth. And I revealed to the people that did not deserve it. And for a brief moment, I retracted and I closed myself off. And because it's kind of a validation for you to believe that, you know what, I told the truth and that person betrayed me. So I was right. I was right. People are untrustworthy. You just said it to the wrong person, right? Not every single person in this world deserves to hear your story. And that person, whoever that betrayed your trust is that's their problem. But now it becomes your responsibility to regain that trust again with other people. I could talk about this topic over and over again. Maybe that's a different video altogether, and how to build trust in relationships and build trust in yourself. Anyways, I'm gonna take off. Tomorrow is Monday. It's the start of a brand new week, which I'm really excited about. And I'm going to leave everyone with this: is find someone that you trust, or find a complete stranger. Sometimes they're easier to talk to than people you know. And when you feel a truth bubbling up, just come out and say it. Stop having shallow conversations. How annoying is that, to have shallow conversations? How many weather talks can we possibly do? Unless you actually really love the weather and you want to talk about it, that's great. Who cares? Get to the truth. If you have no idea what it is that you want to say to someone, just actually say that. Can you imagine how funny that would be? You're sitting across from someone at dinner and he's like, I have no idea what to talk to you about. And that person might be like, well, you know, I really love horses. Maybe we could talk about horses. Now you know that the person loves horses versus you talking about the weather. Because nobody wants to talk about that, right? Anyway, so guys, have an amazing night. And I want everybody to have amazing relationships, whether if it's your customers, with your spouse, with your partners, with your children, with your friends, because you deserve it. But it needs to begin by you opening up and telling the truth. And that's how it all starts. Have an amazing night, and I will see you guys tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for Coach's Corner. Bye-bye, guys.